key missions is to work with existing groups, is to not duplicate other efforts. So we want to have a kind of a relationship with the Citizens Transportation Committee, Saratoga Healthy Transportation Network, the Farmers Market, where we have a kind of a relationship as liaisons where we know what we're doing, we're not going to step on each other's toes, and we want to work together. What else do we have this evening? Jim, Zach, and David for economic development.
I'm Jim Zach. This is David Levesque, and David's very technologically advanced, and we'll be recording these meetings, these task force meetings. When a few months ago, I realized that our group was growing and it was getting big, but there was a gaping hole. We didn't have a local economy focus. And as one of our speakers, Frank Dixon, spoke to us about local economy, it became clear that we really needed to close that hole in the whole picture. So David and I and a few others have been meeting on Wednesdays, 6:30 for a half hour, either by phone or in person, and just brainstorming. We haven't come up with a mission statement yet, but what we've come up with is pretty much of a set of projects. But the overarching statement here is to think local first, in the words of Michael Schumann. And that means perhaps we're going to shift our patterns to buy local, and those of you who are in the business arena, sell local. Those who grow food, grow local, of course. Invest local, invest our surplus money locally, and fabricate things locally. So some of the initiatives we're taking on is we're launching an education campaign right now for local, or what's known as complementary currencies, such as Berkshire's or Ithaca Hours or Ithaca Dollars. Also, we're looking at buying clubs, co-ops, and farmers market and artist co-ops as means to pool the great talent we have here and involve people instead of necessarily bringing technology or programs in. Let's use what we have. A great resource here is the people. Also, another thing I'm interested in is a formal barter system or a skill share where we can trade our talents with somebody else who knows how to do something we don't. Without going out and hiring somebody necessarily, we can trade our expertise with somebody else. And common good banks, which are owned by the community members. This is a new evolving type of financial institution that I'd like to get involved with. And these institutions can do micro-lending. You've heard about perhaps the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh doing micro-lending to small businesses owned by women. Well, it's possible to get small loans through a community bank if we could put one together. Also, we're looking at ways to incubate small businesses, light manufacturing, light industrial, cottage industries, things like that. On the education front, one of my personal missions is to point out where the neoclassical economic system that we are so entrenched in this country is failing us, and it's failing to address climate security, energy scarcity, and the fact that we live on a finite planet. And I'd like to introduce to the community the idea of ecological economics, which takes into consideration that when we run out of food, guess what? We can't just substitute something else for it. When we run out of clean air, we can't substitute anything else for that. So some of the people that are influential in local economies who you might have heard of are E.F. Schumacher. Very famous book, Small is Beautiful. Michael Schumann has a fantastic resource going local. And our semi-local resident, Bill McKibben, his latest, well, not his latest book, but his recent book, Deep Economy. So I encourage you, if you're interested in matters financial and how to get us back on track in this local community without necessarily tying us into the federal or even the state economic system, please contact David or myself after the meeting and we'll get you on board.
Thank you. So just a couple quick announcements before we break up. We'll have just basically based on where people are seating, we'll have the groups congregate. So waste recycling up here, we'll do energy efficient and energy